You guys hear me? You guys hear me? Hi, Katie. Can you guys hear me? Yes, awesome. I had to go turn on the mic. The mic was off. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everyone's doing awesome today. Let's see. Hey, Ida. How you doing? It's good to see you. Let's see. What's going on? All right, it was Thursday Night Live. So, I hope everyone's having a great Thursday. And it's still not done. You still got some time to make it great. So, what's going on? Well, hello, David. All right, so last night I was at an event, and I met a few great people. I met a particular person who's in her spiritual journey. She's all in it, man. It's going great for her. She's discovering who she is, going through challenges, which is what it's all about. That's what we're going to grow from. And she asked me a question. She said, I'm just getting out of a relationship that I thought I had a soulmate connection with this person, and it just didn't work out. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Why do you think it didn't work out? She said, well, because we're not together. And I said, oh, so you're looking at the physical result for the measure of whether something worked out or didn't work out. What do you mean? Well, I always go back, and you've heard me say this over and over and over again before, about the physical reality versus the spiritual reality, being a spiritual being versus just being a human being. And I know a lot of times we always say that we're only human, and that's just something we say. But the truth is we're not just human. And I know a lot of us have the understanding, or at least are aware of the fact that, the body is just a vessel. The body is the vessel for our truth. And I've said this before, if the body is the vessel for our truth, well, what's our truth? A lot of us believe in the soul, our spiritual divinity, our energy, whatever you want to call it. Well, if the body is the vessel for our truth, then that means that everything in our physical reality, it's also a vessel. Everything that's happening to us in our spiritual reality is also a vessel. It's a vessel for truth. It's bringing us awareness. It's bringing us a message. It's pointing at something that we need to see. It's helping us become more aware and conscious of ourselves. So I said to her, well, if you simply just look at the physical result, okay, let's go with that. It didn't work out. But that's only if you just focus on the physical result. Let's look at the physical result as a vessel for something. Look what's happened since that happened to her. She's been on a journey of self-discovery. She's been on this journey of a spiritual awakening. So it worked out. Because at a grander scheme, at the bigger level, at the bigger truth level, everything's always working out. Everything always works out for your highest good. So if you look at the physical result, what did it bring you? What was it a vessel for? Okay, did it bring you pain? Sure. At the physical level, in the physical form, yes, it hurt. But what is it bringing you? And again, I always go back to the question, how is this moment that I'm in trying to grow me rather than destroy me? How is this moment trying to grow me? I always go back to that question. How is this moment trying to grow me, not destroy me? So that's kind of what I always go back to. And, she was very appreciative of that. And I hope it resonated with her. I hope it helped her. But that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys is to look at our physical reality as just a vessel. It's bringing us awareness to truth. our truth. It's helping us connect and become more aware of the truth of who we are, our spiritual nature, our essence, our divinity. And so recently I was listening to, and I think you heard me say it last week, I was listening to the Power of Now, which is the book by Eckhart Tolle, and I was listening to the audiobook in the car, and it has a long section on relationships. And one of the things that Eckhart Tolle has said, and I really enjoy this particular quote, he says that relationships don't cause conflict or unhappiness. They only bring out the conflict and the unhappiness that's already within you, you know? So within that part, there was a moment in the audiobook where he says, a lot of people are looking for happiness. And I think for me, I'm more looking for inner peace. I'm looking to find peace. And I think that's where it's at. It's finding that inner peace. And because he says happiness is completely dependent on some external event or some external result matching some concept or some idea of how you want it to look. And inner peace is completely free from that. Completely free from that. So when he was talking about the relationships part, he was saying that we're looking to our partners to fulfill us, to make us happy. And the truth is, specifically our romantic partners, or any relationship really, but specifically our romantic partners, they're not here to make us happy. They're here to make us conscious. Conscious of who we are, conscious of our truth, conscious of our essential essence, of our divinity. And so, I do a lot of work, of mirror work, when it talks about, and you've heard it, and there's tons of quotes out there where it says that, whatever you see in somebody else is really just a projection of yourself, or it's a reflection of yourself. You can't see something in someone that's not within you. The same goes with beauty, something beautiful, like the great qualities. You can't see the great qualities in someone if they're not already within you. And so when it comes to mirror work, I'll be working with a couple or with an individual who is in a relationship, and they'll say, well, there's no way I'm like that person. There's absolutely no way we're the same person. Okay, so at the level of form, at the physical reality, I agree with that. There's no way you're the same person. You're clearly two different people. But what it comes down to is qualities. It's qualities. And there's a quote from a gentleman named Enrique Corbera, which is someone that I love what he teaches. He says that the other person doesn't exist. It's just you. Because the only way I can experience me is through you. So when I see something in you that annoys me or upsets me, it's really something. It's like another vessel. It's like pointing at something. Look at that. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. There's something there for you that you got to look within yourself that needs healing. And so again, the only way I can experience me is through you. So without you, there's no me. So I'm never really with another person. I'm always with me because I'm experiencing me through you. And so when you're in the what Eckhart Tolle calls the, what does he call it? Like the general unconscious, or like, that state of being asleep, of not being aware. You would think that is the other person. That's when we go into pointing fingers and blaming, and we don't take responsibility for our lives. Everything in our experience is our responsibility, and everything in our experience is our creation. And today, a friend of mine shared a video from the author of the Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, and he was talking about this. He was saying, you create your story. Your identity is just a story, and it's really not even true. You were told your name, you were told who you are, you were told how to act, you were told how to be. But that's a whole other conversation. That goes a lot. We can spend a whole video on just that. But back to the point of the mirror work is that if I can only see me through the other person, because how else do you see you? How else you don't have a video camera, you don't have a camera crew following you around to show you at the end of the day where you can see everything that you could have done better, where you can see all the areas that need improvement. And you may say, well, I can tell, I know, because of my own moral judgment and my own values, I can tell that I'm doing. Well, not really, because if you would, then if you could tell, if you were aware or conscious of that, you wouldn't be doing it. You would already have changed it. You know, it takes you seeing it in somebody else. It takes the help of another person to help you see you, and particularly those that we quote unquote are closest to. Those are the people that are really helping us see each other. And so she mentions that she had a relationship, like a soulmate relationship, and I love Dr. Wayne Dyer's definition of soulmate, which I've come to it really resonates with me, is that a soulmate is a teacher. It's someone who comes into your life to teach you about you. Now, the person you have the most conflict with, that's your biggest teacher. That's the person that's going to teach you the most about you. Now, it doesn't mean that they themselves are going to be teaching you. They're not going to be your teacher. It's just the dynamic. It's going to teach you about you. You're going to learn the most about yourself through this dynamic. So the greater the conflict, the greater the growth. You know, the greater the pain, the greater the reward on the other side. So it's one of those things where you don't want to run away from the conflict. And that's typically what we do. We run away from the conflict, and we run away from the discomfort. We don't want to feel it. And like I was telling a friend of mine the other day, the only way out is through. The only way out of it, the only way out of that discomfort, the only way out of that pain is going through it. I once told someone that, we kind of create our own obstacle course. Like I have a tattoo here that says life is an experiment. So we've kind of created this experiment, this reality, and every single obstacle that we've put on there, we put it there for a reason. We put it there so that we can overcome it, so we can go through it, So it's by going through the obstacle, not by trying to avoid it. We actually do the opposite effect by avoiding it. So, in terms of whether you're going through something similar like this person that I talked to last night, that are just getting out of a relationship and you're just kind of figuring it out, I would just encourage you to ask, what's here for me? Like, and I remember asking myself that question, when I went through that. I was like, what's my responsibility here? What's my part in this conflict? Let me look at me. They always say, like, when you're pointing the finger at someone, there's three pointing back at you. So it's like, what's my part? And then make sure you ask, like, how is this trying to grow me, not destroy me? And what is this trying to show me about me that I wasn't aware of before? Like, this person is in my life for a reason. There's that quote, the person's in your life for a reason, for a season, for a lifetime. And sometimes it could be all three. Sometimes it's just two. Sometimes it's just one of those. And so you got to be willing to ask, what is this person trying to show me? So, yes, again, you're definitely not the same person at the level of form, at the physical reality. You're not the same person. But you got to look at the qualities. Don't focus so much on what the person does. You could say, well, someone is selfish. Okay. And you may say, well, I'm not selfish because you're not doing it in the way that person does it. Or you don't do it in the same context or in the same situation or in the same scenario as that person does it. But where in your life are you being selfish? You may complain that someone, whatever the behavior may be, just break it down to a quality. Don't focus on the actions. Don't focus on the circumstances. Don't focus on how it looks for them. Just break it down to a quality and say, okay, how am I being like that? Whatever that quality may be. And so again, going back to the original question that I was asked, is that the relationship didn't work out. So I told her it did work out. Because it brought you awareness. It made you conscious of certain things that you needed to become aware of. So that you can grow, so you can heal. So you can find your truth. So at the level of our spirituality, at the level of truth, everything's always working out. Maybe at the level of form, maybe at the level of physical reality, it didn't. But at the level of spirituality, at your spiritual truth, it did work out. And that's what we got to focus on. Focus on, what is this bringing me? How is this growing me, not destroying me? So, a couple of announcements. And if you have some thoughts, share them. Right on there. Tell me something. Let's see. We got Katie totally agrees with this soulmate connection. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. Who else? So a couple of announcements is this Friday, for those of you that are dancers, especially if you're here in San Antonio, we're going to go dancing. We're going to go to the Ballroom Annex on Broadway, and we're going to do some dancing. We're going to be doing, there's going to be some lessons, salsa, West Coast swing, and two-step. So come check it out. Everybody's going to learn all the styles. So you'll be able to learn all the styles. And then we're going to play music throughout the night. The cool thing about this little social, we did it back in January, is that whenever there's music that you don't want to dance, don't dance it. And that gives you an opportunity to connect with other people and just kind of talk, take a break. And if you want to dance it, then you get to practice it. And it's a great environment. It's very low key, very intimate, and you're just gonna have a blast. So it's tomorrow, I think, starting at 7:30. We're gonna have the classes at the Ballroom Annex, and we're gonna dance till about, I think it's 11, probably somewhere around there. So the Ballroom Annex on Broadway. It's behind the bar Salud. It's kind of dark, so don't get scared. Just trust us. It's there. And then Saturday, we're doing Global Community Day. And it's just one day where we're all there's people from San Luis, people from Austin, people from San Antonio that are coming together to love and serve our community and just to give, and it's still, you can still register if you have a group of people, maybe your company, maybe yourself. We're going to have, on Saturday, we're going to have the Ferrari Kid organization here in town, join with Marrow Match, Jason Cox organization for bone marrow. They're going to be doing an event from 1 to 3. And if you scroll down a couple of the posts that I've had, you'll see there that where it's going to be at and what times and everything that they're doing. We're going to have a meditation in Austin. We're also going to have people giving free hugs. In San Luis, there's going to be people just cleaning the streets in their neighborhood. So it's just a great opportunity. It's going to be an annual thing. So if by some reason you didn't make it this year, you can definitely make it next year. And then on Sunday, March 12th, if you're in San Antonio, go check out, go look for a post where they're having La Prensa, like a place where they put the La Prensa newspaper, because my Dear Angel column comes out on Sunday. It's a podcast that I do on SoundCloud, and it's going to be published at La Prensa, the newspaper, and also online as well. So go check it out. It's going to be a weekly column. You can definitely send me some questions, either message me on my inbox here on Facebook, or email me at coaching@lifecoachangel.com. And any question you may have, like the question that the lady asked me last night, I always keep everything anonymous, and I'll just share some perspective, and hopefully that resonates with you. But again, La Prensa newspaper, wherever that paper gets put, downtown, I'm sure they'll have it everywhere downtown. And also online at laprensasa.com, you'll be able to catch the weekly column. And it's going to go every week. So I hope you check it out. And drop me a line, send me a question, join us next week. Next Thursday, I'm going to have another special guest. Jody's doing some stuff with the new game this week and next week. So next week, I'm going to be joined by Devin Suggs. So he's a young guy, very driven. He's got so many things going on, all about wellness and health. And we're just going to have a conversation. He's very spiritual, very into his spiritual truth and growing and expanding and discovering. So next week I'll be having a conversation with him. He'll be joining me on the video at 6:30ish, more or less, on Thursday Night Live. Okay? So thank you for hanging in there with me and just sharing some thoughts with me. And again, email me if you need to, like the video, share the video, leave me a comment, and email me any question you may have so that you can be either both on the podcast and on the column on La Prensa, okay? Thank you very much, y'all, and I love you. Peace.